All right, and we should be live, I hope. To bring this up a little. Rain might be a little quiet. Yeah, okay. Testing. Okay, that should be all right. Just gonna notify, hopefully the live is connected. Yes, looks good. I'm just gonna notify the Discord as per usual. All right, so today I'm going to be continuing on with the advanced HTML CSS course and kind of just taking notes and stuff and studying. So the next 2 or 3 streams is going to be are going to be more so study streams rather than live building, but that's okay. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Did not want to download that. So I'm gonna go through these. Not too much, Jay. I spent way too long screwing around with OBS before the stream. I was trying to get a chat overlay working, but it's like giving me hell. So I have to sit down and like figure it out. The problem is Stream Elements is really crap for Mac OS. And it kept deleting my stream key every time I tried to like go live with the chat over. I have no idea why, but it was kind of killing me. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it for today. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a chill study stream. So yeah. Oh, the ad comes into play when you zoom in. That's kind of annoying. I'll just leave it. Can't imagine reading chat over text. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's something, that's for sure. Let's see. I'm gonna kind of mostly skim this stuff because this is like pretty in the weeds a little bit. Rotating on the y-axis. Interesting. Rotate 3D function. Rotates element along XYZ. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. A lot of these are duplicates of each other. Wait, let's see. version. Zoom it in here a little bit, just so you guys can see it. And you know what, like, I'm gonna decide, like, if these streams are too, I don't know, boring or whatever, I might just move on to the React and then do this on my own. But I don't know. I'm kind of just testing out this format, because I ideally want the streams to be a little bit engaging, but I don't know. We'll see. But it's also, I try to be honest and show my entire process. So I don't know. It's kind of like I feel kind of caught in some sense. So perspective can be applied to parent element, and the perspective will be inherited by its children. See how it goes? You can always practice implementation so you can see one in action. Yeah, that's true. I could do that. That's a good point. So why don't we do that? Let's actually do that. I think that's a good idea. Let's get let's just open up VS Code here, and then we'll get a new project. Do new because I want to open a new folder ideally. JSTS. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's go into the I like doing things from the terminal, at least when it comes to this stuff. Exactly. I could also just do it in the browser, but I like doing it in my own instance. Okay, so let's go to the Odin, and then let's see, we've got, okay, so we need to make a new folder. Advanced HTML, CSS, and then CD advanced, and touch transforms, or no. And then, oh yeah, the code transforms. Ah, fucking got deleted again. The as I mentioned last stream, the CLI tool for opening stuff in VS Code keeps getting deleted on my machine. I, honest to God, have no idea why. But that's why you switch to cursor, yeah. Is that like a known thing in Mac, Jay? Like, that might be a known thing. I don't know if that's just me or what. Yeah. Okay, so it's not just me. I'm not going crazy. Oh, I just touched a file. That's why I didn't actually make a directory. I'm stupid. Hold on. Let me fix that right now. Okay, so let's see. CD, the Odin Project, CD advanced. Remove transforms, and then make directory. That's what I want to do. And then we need to open that. There we go. There we go. Okay, so let's just make a default transforms playground. And then we'll set up like probably use the live server or something. Style.css, and then we'll do link CSS. Super. What's going on, Concrete? Okay. Let's just live this. Let's see. Let's just do. Okay. Okay. Good. Here we go. Let's do like a div parent. Let's just do div parent, and then we'll do like child box times like 9 or something like that, and then we'll style it according to with these transforms. So we can put or box sizing, sorry. Box sizing, border box. He will say yes, but no. I'd say beginner, intermediate. How about that? Is that a good compromise? Okay. Let's do parent, and then we'll add a perspective of like, let's just do 400 pixels. You'll take it? Fair. Width, we'll do 200. Height. And then let's just do a background color so that we can see them. We may also make this a grid. I wonder if we can do that. If we can make this a grid and then... Okay, so then we need to actually make this... we'll do grid, template. Repeat 3, 1. So just to make a... We'll make a 3x3 grid. Okay, good. Gap 1. Okay. They don't really need to be super close together or anything like that. I could also cap the width of the parent. I could say width like 600 or something. There we go. Okay. And then we'll also add some margin to it. So it's like kind of in the middle a little bit. Maybe more. There we go. Now let's add some perspective to these children. Rotate Y. Let's do a little rotate Y here. Oh wait, transform. Oh, interesting. That's cool. So you can see based on the perspective that the different rows rotate differently because it's the perspective is on the parent, right? Let's do like an X rotation. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Let's add the perspective of these children. Yeah, I guess I did. I didn't think of that. I did not think of that. That's funny. Okay, so that's cool. However, now if we remove the perspective from here and we put it on here, see, now the perspective's different, right? Because the perspective is now on each of the children instead of the parent. So if you put the perspective on the parent, it's as if the parent has its own camera, right? But then when you put the perspective on the child, it's as if each child has its own perspective camera. Like, I think of it almost as a camera, right? So see, now it's different. I don't know. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. Yeah, so it's kind of like what these guys are doing here. It's like it's compounding, yeah. Oh, interesting. You can do this too. Ooh. I wonder if there's a way... Yeah, if I add animation, it'll look even better. Yeah, sure, true. Let's add animation. Fuck, but how do you do animation? I don't actually know if we've learned that yet. I think there's a way. CSS animation. Animation duration. Animate in keyframes. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. Okay, so let's try that. So we'll say animation duration. Can I just get it to loop though? I wonder if I can get it to loop. Oh, animation iteration count. Ah, I see. Okay. Let's say 3 seconds. Animation name spin. Can I name this anything? I guess I could. Yeah. Animation iteration count. Infinite. How long have I been learning web development? Really? 50 days. 50 days. That's really how long I've been learning. But I've been programming for longer than that, Ethos. Okay, so let's see. All right, and then we can do... How do we apply the keyframes to the... children individually? Actually, maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to put the animation on the children. Now that I think about it. And then we'll do the keyframes thing. And then we'll do spin. And then we'll do like 0%. Maybe we just do 50%. And then transform, rotate. I don't know, like 180. It's possible to create 3D look using animations without using a framework. I think so, Concrete. I'm using vanilla CSS. I'm just trying to get these things to spin. And then can I put like 100% as a... Maybe I put 0%. Maybe I need a 0%. Is it necessary to do this? I don't know. Actually, I'll do rotate X 180 degrees. Rotate Y 180 degrees. Just in case this doesn't work. Oh wait, this needs to be 0 degrees, my bad. Whoops. I don't know if this is gonna work. I genuinely don't know. Oh. That's pretty cool. And then it goes back and forth. There we go. There's some animation. And then it spins back to 0. So you know what I could do is I could actually set this to, because I think it's going from 180 and then back to 0. So what I can do is I can add an 100% here and then do transform. I could actually probably just omit the 50%. I probably don't even need the 50%. Then rotate X. Oh wait, this needs a semicolon. There we go. Now they're just spinning. Oh, but then it like fades in and fades out. Sure, we can do that. I actually don't know how to do that. So let's speed this up a little. Maybe 2. What topic am I learning? I'm learning transforms in 3D space for CSS. That's the current lesson I'm on. But generally speaking, you can use this exclamation mark working on command. And it'll tell you what I'm working on. I update it. Yo, what's up? What's up, Beats? Okay, so now we need to figure out how to make it so that when you click on one of these, the animation plays. I don't know how to do that. Oh, I can see. Okay. I can do something like this. I can do some JavaScript. Or I can do it on a hover or something like that. I can do a hover. That would actually be better. And then I think iteration count would be 1. Right? So, there we go. Now we've got it on a hover. That's pretty neat. Although the animation stops when I stop hovering. I don't know how to start the animation and then have it play until it's over. Animation play state. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Do I leak code? I did a little bit ethos, but I haven't in a while. No, you can't build a game using these things. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just experimenting. I'm just experimenting with these transform stuff. Okay, so when I stop hovering here, then it. Oh, and then it pauses. Okay. I wonder if I can just put this here. No. What do I do for a living? I work in IT. I'm just trying to think about how to play and pause CSS animations. Okay, so I guess that's what we need. So we can do that. We can do animation play state running. Or maybe I put this in the child box. Yeah, see, I want it to keep playing after I leave after the hover leaves. Oh, animation, none. I think there's a way to do this entirely in CSS. Yeah, I could do it in JavaScript, but I think there's a way of doing this entirely in. Entirely in CSS. Like, I wonder if I do. If I do this here, and I do or if I put this in the parent or something, I wonder. No. Maybe I have to do it in JS, I'm not sure. You're also learning web dev for around 2 weeks? Nice. What am I doing on my job? I'm a tier 2 IT specialist, so I'm not going to get into details because it's confidential. The area I work in is confidential, but I do like systems administration, database administration, application deployment and patching, stuff like that. I do a little bit of help desk as well, but I can't say the industry for privacy reasons. Also, the timer, if you're new here, the timer is Pomodoro. So when it goes up, I take a 5-minute break. So when the timer's green, I'm on a 5-minute break, and then when it's blue, I'm like working / chatting with chat. So that's kind of how I do things around here. But yeah, no. I've been doing IT for just under a year. I started my job in May of 2025. I have 2 university degrees. I have a degree in, actually, you know what? You can read my FAQ here, Beats. I have a bunch of answers to common stuff there. But I do have 2 university degrees. I have a computer science degree and a biology degree. But if you want to learn more about me, you can read my FAQ. And if there's something that isn't addressed in the FAQ, you can ask in the chat. Just because I get the same questions like a lot, so. Here, you can do Pomodoro in chat. You can check it out. It's just a website. It's a free website. And then I just have a browser window showing the timer, and then I just record it and overlay it on the OBS. So that's how I do it. I didn't develop it. It's not my timer. Although I would like to make a timer eventually. That might be a fun project. We could make my own Pomodoro timer. Or I could make my own Pomodoro timer. That's like custom to me and my stream. But this one works well for now. No, it's all good, Beats. It's just the area I work is confidential. So I can't divulge like to the internet like what it is because I don't want to get fired. You don't have a CS degree. You're studying commerce and learning programming for more than 3 months without missing a single day. Without missing a single day, does degree matter very much? I don't know. I think it matters to employers, but it doesn't matter if you just want to learn. You're also trying to learn coding now, grinding in JS. Nice, Beats. That's awesome. You can actually check out the last 10 streams or 11 streams. I think from day 39 to 49, I develop a battleship game, completely in HTML, CSS, and TypeScript. So if you're curious, you can check that out. We just finished that project, actually. You could have a key event listener that yells at you when it detects presses on a break. Oh, I could. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I've been pretty good so far. Oh, you have seen it? Nice. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you've seen it or if you're new here. I'm also considering for YouTube content, because I work full time on top of streams. I was wondering if you guys would be interested in editing down the streams for each project and then releasing a video on me building the project. Like cutting out all the breaks and like making it like a condensed video on just making the project. I don't know if you guys would like that, but I was thinking of doing that for actual like video uploads. What do I think about Skillbeat's degree? I think a degree is just good to have for employers, like on a piece of paper. Like that's why I got the degree, because I know employers value having education, like formal education, but I think when it comes to actually what you know, the skill and like learning on your own is a lot more important than the degree. The degree is not going to teach you everything you need to know. Far from it. I think ethos. So if you just want to code as a hobby or whatever, or like even do like freelance work, you don't need a degree. It's only if you want to like work in a company, I think. And even then, you can get credentials too. You can get certifications. Honestly, it's really good, amazing work. Keep going. We'll support you. I appreciate you, Concrete. You might be the first viewer, at least that I've heard of, from Sri Lanka. That's awesome. That's super cool. It's really neat for me to see where you guys come from, because you guys are like all over the world, and it's freaking cool. Like I've got fans in Europe, the United States, India, Sri Lanka, Australia, South Africa, Algeria, like all over the place. It's really cool. The United Kingdom, stuff like that. Just watch Train Dreams. What a movie. Highly recommend. Okay, for sure. What's the movie about anyway? India, nice. Aura Frames. FrameX. Bangladesh. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's really cool to see that my content's getting all around the world. Oh, no, don't worry. No, don't worry, Beats. Don't worry. I'm not actually, one of my buddies when I went to university, he was my friend. I did some projects with him. He was from Russia and he was an international student. So, I do not discriminate against anybody. As long as you're not like spewing like political BS in the chat, like I don't care. Today you watched a dream of leak code problems and solved in sleep. Nice, that's pretty cool. I think there's a way to add animation. Because I know I can do this. I can do this. I can do animation play state paused. And then I can do animation play state running. Like I can do this. So it'll like pause. That's pretty cool. The problem is the hoverable area shrinks if the square is like almost flat. What is happening? We're learning 3D transformations, Caro. You started learning AI automation on Day 3 in Bit Nerdist. Any suggestion? Like, what do you mean by AI automation? Let's see. What play states can we have? We can do initial. So I think this will just be the same functionality as before. Oh no, that's fine. Oh, and then it doesn't replay. Interesting. Animation iteration count infinite, I think I need to do. Oh, but then it plays. Okay, so I have to pause it. There we go. Okay. That's what your brain feels like. It's kind of like, it reminds me of, we can also make the colors random too. The way I ignore AI is impressive. I wish I could do it. You know what? You know why, MKM? Because I kind of like, I don't, like, this is mostly because I'm, like, I want to learn how to code, but I'm also doing it because I genuinely enjoy this stuff. So, like, I don't let AI bother me or get in the way. Reminds you of an old Windows ad? That's fair. Here, we'll add some JavaScript, I guess. We'll add some JavaScript. And I'm not going to do TypeScript because this is just like, you know. So we'll do script, source, index, dot, defer. Okay. So, okay, so let's do our, because I think there's a way to play and pause animation. CSS animation play once. That's what we had already. Okay, so let's just replicate this function in index.js here. Oh, I just solve problems of business people. You reduce manual stress and complete work in less time. Oh, that's pretty cool, Warframe. You saw a funny juice website where a lizard moves around and changes the bottle colors? Oh, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. Let's do const. We can even call these windows. Or let's just do boxes. Boxes equals document dot query selector all dot child box. And then we'll do boxes dot for each box. And then we'll do box dot add event listener click. And then we'll start the animation maybe. Animation play state, or wait, box dot style. Shit, style. Can I not get the style of the box? Maybe not. Computed style. Box.animate. Oh, interesting. Hold on, let me look, please look at the Juice website. Okay, hold on, let me catch up on chat. Well, that's kind of what the Discord's meant for. Hold on, bro, can I join you? What do you mean join me? Discord. Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to do with the boxes is I'm trying to make them animate once when I click on them. That's essentially it. That's what I'm trying to do. Oh, so I can just add the animation like fully in fully in the JavaScript like this. Like this. I can do transform, rotate X at 0 degrees. And then I can do another one. Oops. Then we'll do const spin animation, or spin timing, duration, 2000, iterations 1. And then newspaper keyframes, or not newspaper, spin keyframes. And then spin timing. I think that works. I could do that too, Jay. I could do that. But I think this works. Maybe. Let's see. Nice. Very fun. So now we can click on it and they play. I could do the class method too, but that's pretty good. I basically just copied the docs, but... Okay, sorry, what was the website? Hold on. This is an amazing animation. I appreciate that. You know what we could do? We could have fun with it too. We could make it. We could scale it. So I think what was the functions I had here? Translate X. I can also scale it too. I can do some scaling. So we could do like a scale 0 point, or no, let's do scale 1. Although I don't know how I can make this go. I need to add another middle keyframe, I think. Scale 1. Then I can add a keyframe in the middle. Scale like to 2 or something. Maybe. And then they can grow. I'm just like playing around. Oh, it doesn't actually rotate them either. Okay, well that's kind of boring. What if I do rotate X 180? There we go. Now they grow and then... Very cool. The other thing I can do is I can make their color box dot background or style. See, the thing is I don't know. Computed style map. I don't know how to access the style of this guy because this should be an element. Oh, I can make it an HTML element, can't I? Oh, because it's not. Fuck, it's not TypeScript. Bruh. That's okay. Coming soon to IMAX theaters near you. No, I was just gonna try and make these random colors. Yeah, true. I could do that as well. I can also make this shrink too. I can make these shrink. There, that's cool. We can add some rotate Z in here too. And then I'm done, because I don't want to dwell on this, because then we're just going to... The whole stream's just going to be this. Yeah, okay. Rotate Z. 360. Whoops. Rotate Z. There we go. Very nice. Okay. So I think that's good for learning animations and stuff. We can also change the perspective too. Like we can make the perspective like further away. I think. Or does that not change anything? Like what if we made this 0? Whoa. Yeah, because it's like right up close. I see. So if we make it like 100 pixels. Interesting. It could be. So see, we put the camera a lot closer, right? But if we put the camera like really far away, like let's say we put the camera at like 5,000 pixels, it's gonna be almost orthographic, I think. Right? It's almost like the effect of like a dolly zoom. Or not orthographic, what's the term? Is it orthographic? Yeah, orthographic projection. I think if the camera is like infinitely far away, it turns into an orthographic projection. I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, it's pretty cool. It's cool. But like, yeah, if we make it like closer, like we make it like 200, it's a little weird looking. And you can see because the perspective is applied to the parent, the spin looks a little different for like a cube on or a box on this side versus in the middle, right? You can read my FAQ here, Morpheus. I explain why. Okay, so I think that's good. I think that's good. I think that's good for now. This keeps adding to the wrong. There we go. The world of CSS transforms. Yeah, so this just moves the box. You can do by percentage based on the parent, right? Oh, the element's own size. Okay. For percentages, or percentage is relative to the element's size. Interesting. Okay, scale, pretty easy. I'm kind of going through this a little quickly because this is like pretty basic stuff. Okay, so yeah, you can scale the X, scale the Y. Pretty basic. When it has text. The text scales up and down with the element. That makes sense. Oh, that's pretty cool. Old-timey TV power animation. That's nice. Then we have rotations. Transform origin, center. Oh, nice. That's cool. And it rotates around that. So if we could actually change that in our project. So we change the transform origin. To like left top. Oh wait, that's gonna be the wrong. Yeah, see now it rotates around around the top here. That's pretty cool. Nice. Translate and rotate, yes. Right. Transform functions are being applied right to left, like composition. What theme am I using in VS Code? I'm using Atom 1 Dark. Here, I'll type it in chat. I think that's what it's called. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add a command for that right now. There we go. Now, yeah, no worries. Now you can do exclamation point theme, and it should work. Ideally. There we go. There we go. I've gotten that question a few times. It's about time I added a command for it. There we go. All right. Yeah, so we can have like an orbit. Oh, interesting. From to. Instead of 0%, 100%, we can do from and to. That's kind of cool. One common gotcha with transforms is they don't work with inline elements. Nice. Okay. All right. I think we've like. I mean, I went through it kind of quickly, but I think we're pretty good on the transforms. If I do say so myself. What are the four main functions? We got rotate, translate, skew, and scale, right? Transform, translate, scale, and perspective. There we go. Nice. Transitions. Here we go. Okay, so let's get another note open here. Whoops. And then it was advanced HTML and animation. Do I prefer Obsidian over Notion? Yes, I do. Sans. I do. I find Notion way too complicated. But that's just maybe me. Shorthand for transitions. transition property, transition duration, transition timing function, whoops, and transition delay. Which CSS property changed I think those ones are self-explanatory. Duration and delay are self-explanatory. Timing function changes speed of transition over its duration. Linear, cubic, etc. Reason. You wish you could just take my time to learn, but I'm so used to like, hey, we need to do this with that. So I'm like, all right, let's get straight, build as quick as possible and learn this on the go. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, Sans. I'm trying to also take the time to learn so that when it does come time to build something, I don't get stuck. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what my goal is with this, I guess. Okay, yeah, so this is pretty self-explanatory. So I'll do stacking context. Refers to stacking or layering of HTML elements inside of a parent container. Long z-axis. Controlled by the okay, I'll leave it there for now. Okay. Do you see myself working a specific role or just exploring, not stressing out about it too much? Kind of mostly that, Sans. I would eventually like to break into software development for my career. And I'm trying to do that just through learning and kind of meeting people and exploring these technologies. But I don't have a set goal, I guess. Yo, Sword, how's it going? I'm doing pretty well. How are you? But yeah, no, I'm just trying to learn as much as I can and kind of go from there. Because I do have a job that is secure and pays the bills. But, you know, you're trying to do that just through LARPing? Nah. I mean, I guess you could call all this LARPing, but I don't know. But I'm also trying to be the version of myself that I want to be, right? So, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm doing here. You're LARPing, I know for sure. No, that's fair. Isn't LARPing like you're pretending to be someone who you're not, right? I don't know. I think vibe coders are LARPers for sure. Yeah, it is a big relief. Exactly. I totally agree with you. Yeah. Have I checked CS50 for deeper stuff? Sans, I already do have a degree in CS, so I don't know if I need the theory that CS50 would provide, but maybe I might check it out at some point. What am I working on? I'm learning the advanced HTML and CSS, or I'm following the advanced HTML and CSS course in the Odin Projects. Yeah, pretty much the same. But yeah, that's today. I'm pretty far into it, yeah. I plan on hopefully finishing the Odin project. I thought I could get it done by the end of April, but I'm thinking now it's going to be more like the end of May, which is fine. So I'm thinking the next 2 months worth of streams are going to be still Odin project, and then I'm probably going to move on to building my own stuff. Like I might do, I think one of the first projects I'll build after Odin project is maybe like I've thought of like a Pomodoro app. I might build a simple web game. I might build, I want to build my own note-taking app as well that handles Markdown. Like I have some ideas that I write down as I go through. That's fair, Sword. You can do whatever you feel comfortable with. You can do competitive programming. You can do all that stuff. Build a chess web app. I might. That's a good idea. But yeah, no, I'm going to, I usually like write, I have some notes on my phone of like ideas for the future. Because I do want to continue streaming after the Odin project. But that's why I'm going through the Odin project and taking my time so that when it does come time to build my own stuff, I don't get stuck as much, I guess. Competitive programming alone can carry you if you're really good at it, but it's really, really hard, yeah. The thing with competitive programming, though, is it's like fun in its own sake, and it's good for coding interviews, but I don't think they're that useful. They're not as useful as you'd think, like, for the job, I guess. In my opinion. Only because, like, how often are you implementing, like, these really difficult algorithms, like, in a application, right? Like, usually there's, like, a library that does it. But they're fun for their own sake. Like, why do people solve Rubik's Cubes very fast? Like, cubing. It's the same reason. Or, like, why do people play chess? Right? Like there are already chess bots that exist that can you know beat any human being in the world. I don't know. That's just my take on it. I think it's fun for its own sake. One of your friend got a Google internship solely based on competitive programming. He didn't do much dev skills. Dang, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so it can be useful for stuff like that, right? For sure. Totally. Every 6 months, Google announces an internship. That's cool. I bet it's hard. Finds. I think Z-index. I think a higher number draws it first, right? Yeah. It's kind of like a relationship. He'll help you get one, but not maintain it. Exactly. Yeah. I hear you. It's kind of like crafting a good dating app profile. It might get you matches, but it won't maintain it. I don't know why I thought of that analogy, but okay. Let's see. Can also trigger the creation of new stacking contexts. Other CSS properties can trigger. You don't think anything on a dating app would be maintainable? Yeah, fair. That's fair. Just created a stacking context. If you want to make a bunch more stacking contexts, they're very... If we were to make a bunch more stacking contexts through various other means when it comes to rendering our initial transform, we would repaint not only our div element, but also every element that is stacked on top of it. For best performance, transitions should only affect opacity. We got a lot of windows here. Have you ever taken an online IQ test out of curiosity? No, I have not. Maybe a long time ago, but I don't remember. I don't think my IQ's very high, honestly. I think it's probably like average. It's probably like within the within the first standard deviation, I would say. I don't know. I don't know for sure. CSS transitions provide... I'm also... The other thing, too, is I'm not very interested in IQ. I think it's kind of bogus, a little bit. I don't think it tells you very much about somebody. It's also incredibly biased. Like, as a metric, generally speaking. At least traditionally. I don't know if they've improved them, but... so let's see. So we basically got all this from the article. So I'll just put the syntax here. Oh, property. Duration. Timing, function, and delay. Does it correlate with happiness though? Does correlate with job performance, academic achievement? I think only in some groups though, Sword. I don't think that's true for every case. Every person, I guess. Okay, so I wonder if we could implement what we had with our animation with a transition. We probably could. There can be can list several properties to transition in the same width, height, background, color, etc. Hold on, let me, which language is best for data science? Probably Python. We went on for like 2 hours, we wanted to quit, so deep into it. Yeah, Python. R is used in, I used a bit of R in my biology degree, but also, I don't know why you're coming to a web dev stream to talk about data science. I don't do data science here, at least not yet. I might, maybe, at some point in the future, I'll like explore doing data science, data stuff, but not right now. Let's see, using translations. Okay, so transition display. There's an exception, however, when animating to and from content visibility. Okay, I see. Yeah, no, I'm a beginner. That's the thing. Well, actually, I should, as Jay said earlier, I should say I'm a beginner intermediate, but you know, beginner intermediate. I don't know. Probably somewhere in the middle. Like if there's 5 levels, okay. So like level 1 is beginner, and level 5 is like senior programmer, been programming for a decade more. I'm probably at like a 2 on that scale from 1 to 5. Or like a 2 to a 2.5, something like that. Probably 2. I would put myself at 2. Where 3 is like intermediate, 4 is like intermediate advanced, and then 5 is advanced. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it takes a while. It does take a while for sure. 100% sword. 100%. Finally, we introduce some JavaScript. Show hide. Div.toggle. Oh, there's even like a code tag. I didn't even know a code tag was a thing. Huh. There's probably like interesting defaults for that. Once I grasp React, I'll definitely be comfortably in the middle of 3. That's fair. That's fair, Jay. Maybe. We'll see. I think when I finish Odin Project as a fully, I'll be in 3. Let's see. Using transitions to make JavaScript functionality smooth. Transitions are a great tool to make things... Okay, so click anywhere to move the ball. Oh, cool. That's pretty cool. Foo, class ball. F style transform and then the transition. I see. Leela, you won't have to work with component loading states? Why won't I have to be working on those? Is that not like part of React, or is that something else? Oh, it's not for you? Don't for you now? Oh, I see. Okay, okay, okay. I see. So it's coming up. Oh, it's done for me now. I see. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you. Okay. Detection, start and completion of transition. In JS, transition states, transition progress can be tracked using the and transition and events for events. Yeah, I'll just say that. Okay, cool. Let's see, how long is this anyway? Jesus. Okay. This Josh Camo guy has got like a lot of shit. CSS, we're given a tool to explicitly control stacking order. Yeah, okay. This is pretty simple concept. Yeah, it is pretty. I think this Josh Camo guy has like written his own documentate like lessons almost. Okay, so that's fine. Tooltip has a much larger Z index than header, so why on earth is the header on top? Because I think the header is in its own thing. Maybe. Because I think the stacking context is only within the parent. Is that true? I don't know. Yeah, a parent container. Side of a parent container. Z, whoops. On sibling, wait, actually. Values on elements in different stacking contexts will not align. What are we doing here, Jordan? Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, I'm just going to update the Nightbot command every beginning of every stream. Okay, let's see. Yeah, stacking contexts are, that's kind of interesting. Layers and groups. Okay, yeah, so I'm familiar with this. Like files in a folder, group allows segment our layers. Okay. In terms of stacking order, layers aren't allowed to intermingle. All of dog's layer will appear on top of all of cat's layers. Yes. So I can think of as stacking context almost like think of as a group of layers in Photoshop. I think that's a good comparison. Not global. Let's see, there are many ways to create stacking context. So I'm sure you can have nested stacking context, which is kind of could get fucky. Yeah, here's the example from the MDN site. Ah, so because main has its own stacking context, I see. Okay. I'd assume there's always a root context, right? There must be. I would assume this is true, based on what I'm seeing here. See, we'll add a link here. So if you guys don't know, this is how you add a link in Obsidian. Like an embedded link. So you do square brackets and then curly brackets, or not curly brackets, but just regular brackets, parentheses, and then you write the name of what you want to call it here. You can say stacking context, and then you can put the link in the regular brackets here. And then now this is like a hyperlink. So yeah, that makes sense. Properties that trigger its own, yeah. Main doesn't set a Z index anymore, but uses will change, property that can create stacking context all on its own. Okay, so second box, Z index 1. Second box is lifted above its siblings using Z index. There's no positions. I think used to think Z index properly had a dependency on the position. Interesting. And groups can be conjured as structural helpers. There's got to be a way, like in the inspector, to like if you're trying to debug this stuff, like there's got to be a way to see where the stacking contexts are. That paragraph is really profound for a CSS concept. Are you talking about this last one here? Yeah. That is kind of good. I might even put that as like a quote or something up here. I think how do you quote text in Obsidian? Ah, it's this, right. Let's quote this. And I'll put the link here. Constellation of layout algorithms. It's very elegantly put, I would say. In our Photoshop analogy, there's a clear distinction between groups and layers. Yeah, okay. Every element that uses z-index must also create a stacking context. When we decide to give an element a z-index, we are intending to produce a stacking context. Let's put that here. When a stacking context is created, it flattens all its descendants. Children can be rearranged, but they are locked inside of the parent context. It felt spiritual for a second. Yeah, exactly. Guys, CSS is actually like religion now. Lift header to the front by giving it a z-index. Airtight abstractions. There we go. Okay. Yeah, exactly. All right, third break of the stream. The next one is really good. The next what? Oh, this next one. Oh, property, wrapper? Oh no, isolation. Okay, bet. But I feel like, okay, so isolation creates a stacking context in its purest way. No need to prescribe z-index, can be used on statically positioned, doesn't affect the child's rendering. Nice. I see. I feel like, though, that could get confusing. Yeah, I've seen Kevin Powell, actually. I think some of the very early CSS lessons in the Odin Project references videos, if I remember correctly. So. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this could get messy pretty quick. Anyway, while I am remembering, I'm gonna go run to the washroom on this break, and I will be right back in like a minute. Oh wait, it can fix 90% of the bugs. Like the bugs related to stacking context. Yeah, that's fair. But I feel like it's like a hot fix though, right? Like it's not like a. I don't know. Feels like it could get messy. Anyway, all right, I'll be right back. All right, I've returned. I think, I don't know. I might go for 6 Palmos today, but 5 or 6. We'll see how I feel in the next hour. I usually do 6 on Saturdays, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And then tomorrow, tentative, maybe streaming in the evening, but I can't promise it. I might not. We'll see. Am I using Notion, Jordan? No, I'm using Obsidian. So, yeah. All right, one of my favorite. Okay, so isolation. So let's get that isolation property here. Recently built this neat envelope component. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because you got like the back, pane, letter, and the shell. That's pretty cool. Package this up in a React component. Okay, so I'm assuming in this sense, the React component's kind of just like a fragment of HTML, maybe? With like other components in here. Have I listened to Dracula by Tame Impala? Probably. I probably have, but I don't remember. If it's just like... oh, is this guy Canadian? He might be. Might be Canadian. Our fellow here. Makes sense. He's probably like in Montreal or something. Yeah, I'm sure I've heard it. Good React component is sealed off from its environment like a spacesuit. Check what happens when I use a header with z-index 3. Our envelope component wraps the 4 layers in a div, but doesn't create a stacking context. Oh, wait. So are these all separate stacking contexts then? I don't know. Or is it like, I don't know. Let's see. Our envelope component wraps the 4 layer. Yeah, okay. By using isolate on top level element, we guarantee that it'll be positioned as a group. Ah, okay. React components are meant to be reusable. More and more, I'm starting to believe that z-index is an escape hatch. Similar. Yeah, see, this is... Okay. Okay. But I feel like isolation would be too. I don't know. If you ever struggled to get elements to stack in the correct order, you know how tricky it is. Microsoft Edge is an interesting 3D view. Interesting. Oh, this is good. Mike Rowe reached out to share a VS Code extension. Interesting. Oh, that's cool. Chrome extension which adds a new z-index pane to the DevTools. So you're telling me this isn't like default in the Chrome DevTools? Come on, guys. You found that stacking issues relate to layout issues? Yeah, that's fair. That actually makes sense. In Chrome DevTools, there's a layers pane that shows individual element layers. Are the layers the same thing as stacking context? No. Stacking contexts are a thing in the CSS specification. They're a fundamental part of how the language works. Let's just put that here. Layers in the Chrome DevTools are not the same as you took an online IQ test, it gave you 110 to 115. That's pretty good. It's like the high end of normal, I think. I don't know for sure. Is the standard deviation 15 or 20? I don't remember. It took 2 hours? Yeah, no. I would not waste 2 hours to do that. No, thank you. I feel like with all of these links to things, you can literally sit here and learn about CSS for like days and days and days, which like, I mean, maybe that's important, but yeah, see, unless you explicitly take the time to learn about these mechanisms, your mental model will always be missing pieces. Yeah. I feel like maybe things like Tailwind kind of abstract these away though a little bit. I might be wrong, but like I would feel like maybe like the CSS compilers or whatever it is kind of abstract a lot of the CSS complexity. Do you think I did it for 30 minutes? You felt like quitting, but you thought I'd lose all your progress, so you kept going for 10 more minutes. It pissed me off. It was never ending. Oh, jeez. Did you have to? I hope you didn't have to pay for it. Okay, so that's good. Oh, here it is. CSS Stack and Context Inspector. I guess we can add this. Although it only has 3.7 out of 5, guys. It's not very liked. But that's okay. I'll add it, why not? Doesn't hurt. Let's see, how to create high performance CSS animations. To move an element, use the translate or rotation keywords. Yes, we already learned this. This is pretty much exactly what I did, except in with the 3D. 100 is top 50%. Nice. Yeah, I knew 100 is the mean. I know 100 is the mean. Yeah, that's pretty good then, Sword. It just depends on like how reputable the test is. Like I don't know how reputable it is. I feel like these are all the same animations, no? Oh, okay, that one's opacity. Okay. Avoid properties that trigger layout or paint. Yeah, okay. We already got that. I'll zoom this in a little. Forced layer creation. Yep. Already learned about that. JCTI, plenty of Reddit posts. It's very reputable. Interesting. Chrome DevTools. Help you figure out why animations are slow and glitchy. An animation that moves an element using something other than transforms is likely to be slow. That makes sense. Can the test only ends once the computer's confident? Interesting. Check for drop frames. Pay attention to the frames label. Oh, and then enable FPS meter. Interesting. Heading to sleep. Good night. All right. Have a good night, Sword. Animate at the composite stage. Restrict animations. Wait, what is the will change property again? What does this do? Will change is a hints to browsers how an element is expected to change. Browsers may set up optimizations. Oh, I see. Okay. Interesting. CSS triggers. Oh, that's kind of neat. WebKit is Safari, and then Blink is Chrome, and then Gecko is Firefox, right? I might be wrong. Gecko, render. Yeah, it's Mozilla, okay. And then Blink is Chrome. Yes, okay, I was right. And then Edge HTML, I don't know if that's its own. I thought Edge was just Chromium though. I mean, I might be wrong, but an interactive guide to CSS transitions. Debugging, layout, repaint. Issues. I might like star this or something. Is there on CSS tips? Yeah, we already know this. Transition can take a number of values, the name of the property, and the duration. Property and duration are the only necessary values. Hi, on which app am I making the notes? I am making them on Obsidian, Saish. Here, I'll get you a link. There you go. And it's also Markdown, which is nice. I like the fact that it's Markdown, because then you can add like plain text, you can add text styling easily, you can add hyperlinks, you can do all that stuff really simply. Yeah, no worries, Saish. I got you. We tell an element to transition from one position to another. Browser needs to work. Okay, so yeah, this is like where so it's a linear translation. Or transition, I should say. And then ease in is the opposite. Starts slow and then speeds up. Ease in out is sigmoid. Can we add images and related videos? Ethos. I just finished a project. I'm just doing some lessons now. Yeah, I agree. I can go back. I can make a project with this. I just don't know what I would make. But if you go back in the previous streams, Ethos, I made a whole battleship app. Like from days 39 to 49, I made an entire battleship app. You can actually check it out here. Wait, actually, let me get the link. BenStack. Yo, Stuns, how's it going? There, you can check out my battleship app there. I'm just starting the advanced HTML CSS lesson, Stuns. I did not yet, actually. I need to take a look. Would you like me to take a look on stream? Because I can. But if not, I can take a look at it right after stream. It slipped off my plate this morning. But if it's too much pressure, I totally get it. But I can look at it at the end of stream quickly. Okay, so ease. Yeah, okay, so let's see. Features a brief ramp up, a lot of deceleration. Okay. When will you do JS? I'm excited about JS. I already did a lot of JS, Ethos. Again, if you watch my previous streams, I did a lot of JavaScript. But I'll get back to it again. So I'm just going to be on the next few streams. I'm going to be focused on HTML and CSS, and then I'll get back to React. I'm going to start learning React. But yeah, you know what? I'll take a look at your code in a bit, Stuns. After the next segment, I just want to finish this transition section. First time here, what's the goal? The goal's kind of broad, but the goal is just to become a better developer. But I want to learn code myself so that I can be the best software developer I can, just generally speaking. I'm just starting with web development as a kind of a starting point to expand from. You can actually read a bit of my FAQ here. There's some common answers to common questions there. What's up, Zephyr? How's it going? Let's see. What's the app called that I'm using to take notes? It's Obsidian. You can check it out here. It's markdown notes, Stuns, so it's pretty nice. You can add like plain text, you can add hyperlinks, stuff like that. Yeah, so we got a bunch of functions here. Yeah, no worries, no worries. It's good for the more documentation heavy sections, because I think you know, at the very beginning I didn't take many notes because it was pretty easy. Like the content was pretty easy, but now that I'm getting into this kind of nitty gritty CSS stuff, I think taking the notes alongside, you know, programming some maybe like quick demos and stuff is going to be helpful. Yeah, okay, so we got our frames per second. So if we have low frames per second, this could be super choppy. Yeah. We already know about the animation expensiveness. Hardware acceleration. We animate an element using transform on the browser, sometimes optimize. Yeah, so we already have that here. Like in, where is it? Yeah, for best performance, to only affect opacity and transform. And where's the GPU part? Maybe that was in the other note. The beginning of the course was pretty easy, to be fair, because you attempted web development. Yeah, exactly, Stuns. Yeah, exactly. Like especially this advanced stuff is a little bit non-intuitive, right? So we'll sit here. Allows to hint to the browser, or tells browser that a certain element will be animated and it should optimize for this. e.g. using GPU acceleration, right? Property that tells browser. Okay. Browsers have their own inscrutable logic. Take advantage of subpixel rendering. I think the purple one is subpixel. It's kind of hard to see, but it's smoother. So the purple is the... So that's the janky box, is the pink. Yeah, slate blue. Will change, transform, and then you don't have a will change. Accelerated box. Oh, I see. Cool. Cool. All right, I'll go over to the GitHub for your thing, Stuns, just a second. Let's take a look. So I could clone it, I guess. I think I'm actually going to do it. Like, if I do, like, code reviews on stream, I mean, I don't know who I am to do a code review, but I might make, like, a separate, like, folder for code reviews. What do I have here? I'll do, like, maybe I'll make a BenStack or something. And then I'll do viewer projects. The website isn't too bad, it's just the code maybe? Okay, sure. Well, that's why I'm cloning it into here. All right, and then I can do, I have to actually go into code. And I have to open it. Because the code CLI is broken on my machine. Okay, let's go to BenStack, viewer projects. Let's take a look here. So I'll take a look in more detail after the break, but at least we have it here now. I just want to see how much of this I have left. Oh man, it's a lot of reading today, guys. That's okay. Then how many, okay, let me have keyframes. Ideally, I wanted to finish all of these today, but maybe we won't get it. We won't get to it. Let's play the tic-tac-toe though. Let's. I'm assuming I can just do this. There we go. Oh, this looks pretty nice. It has this nice hover when you hover over a spot. That's pretty cool. I'm going to try and get a tie first here. No winner, it's a tie. Nice. Now let's get a player X wins. And then I'll do player O wins. Nice. Looks pretty good. And then you've got the player scores here. The colors look decent. Yeah, as far as the website goes, it looks pretty good, I would say. You don't like how far apart the top text is? Like this text up here? Because you can probably bring this, you could probably get this closer. So this text here is the, what is this guy? It's the current turn display. Ah, it's here. Okay. Let me think about how I could fix this. You could probably put the current turn display within the game content. Like, we could try that out. Like if we put the current turn display within the game content, let's see what happens. I don't know how you've set up the CSS though. Oh, I see. Okay, so it goes over here. So what you could then do is you could then put you could do this in the CSS. You could for the game content you could have. Let me think about this actually. Okay, so you have the flex direction as row. Okay, then you have a sidebar. Then you have your grid here. The other option is you could put you could wrap this in another container as well. Flex call and game content. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, but the problem with that is it'll put the scoreboard up here, right? So like if I change that to column, then it'll put the scoreboard up here, right? Yeah, and then with another container. And then you have another container like this. You could do like game board, or sorry, like game inner content or something. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. And then for game inner content, you can do a display flex, justify content center, align item center, like this. And then what you could also do is for the current turn display, you could add a margin bottom of like that or something, just to push it up a little bit. Right? So you could do something like that. Right? I don't know. This is just an idea. And what was the other thing you said? Also, the reset button doesn't reset the score, it resets the board. Oh, I see. Okay. Do you want it to reset the score? Maybe I could put the boarding scoreboard in one, and then they go inside a container with the header. You mean this, right? That's kind of what I did. So the header, the current turn display is outside, and then there's like another div with inner content here. Right, and then the other thing. Okay, so then let's look at your JavaScript. Okay, so you represent the board as that's fine. You can represent it as a okay, and you have an IIFE here, which is good. So like a singleton, which if you're using JavaScript, that's good. You could have made this a class as well, but that's fine. This is all clean. That's clean. There's no other real way of doing this. This is a fine way of checking. Resetting board, yep, good. Const game board. Yep, that's fine. I don't actually know though if there's a way of making properties inherently private within Oh, I probably will do. I probably could do that, but I pointed out people might think it resets score. Yeah, that's fair. You could also have two buttons stuns, like one as like reset score and one as reset board or something. You could put like two buttons. There's a class in the next section. Okay, so yeah, you've got this all set up separately. This is all good. Okay, you got your players here. That's fine. Handle DOM. Grid cells, winner overlay element. This is pretty much like how I would do it, I think. Yeah, and then you add event listeners for the grid cells. That's good. Yeah. This all looks pretty good. It's very readable. Scoreboard, player X, yep. That's good. You're using whatever these are called for like string comprehension, kind of. That's good. I forget what those are called exactly, but that's good. Game manager, that's kind of how I did it as well. That's good. Yep. Check for a winner, and then otherwise, yeah. And then this checks the tie. It checks if all the cells are filled in. That's good. And then current player turn, get current player turn within the game manager. That's good. Then you reset everything. That's good. I should have weekly mentor sessions. I should, yeah. Maybe. We'll see. This code looks pretty freaking good, Stuns. Like, I have nothing really to suggest. Like, maybe, the only thing I would say is you could separate the code. Instead of having it all in one JavaScript file, you could use modules and put these in different JavaScript files. That's the only thing. Like, if you wanted more organized, it's fine for a small project like this, but if it was a large project, you'd ideally want to have your JavaScript, like each like class or singleton or whatever in its own file. But that's like the one thing I would say. But like the rest of it looks pretty clean. Like this is all really readable. It's really organized. The functions are named well. They're very self-explanatory. So I mean, honestly, yeah, no notes on this one other than that. I mean, again, is it gonna like win awards for being like the cleanest code ever? No, but it looks like how I would write it, for what it's worth. Like it looks like how I would write it. Does the Odin Project teach that? The modules, yes, it does. It does, yeah. At least I think. I can actually go back and check. But no, that was good, Stuns. I'm actually going to give you... Can I give you a star on this? There we go. I gave you a star on the GitHub. So, okay, let's see. I think there is, though. I think it's in here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. ES6 modules. So it's like right after what you just did, Stuns. This is where you learn how to do that. So for your restaurant page, you're going to use modules. So then you're going to learn about like classes, Webpack, stuff like that. Okay, let's go back to our advanced. Yeah, no worries, Stuns. It was a pleasure. You're right though. Maybe I could do like a weekly like code review. And am I good at code reviewing? Probably not. I don't really know how to actually properly code review anything. But I'd be happy to take a look at your code. Or anybody else who's watching, like if you're a beginner. I'm also kind of a beginner, so like if you're more than a beginner intermediate, then it's probably, you probably already know more than me, so probably wouldn't be worth it, but you know. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so we already got this one. By delegating an element's rendering to the GPU, consume more video memory. Yeah, no, that's like hardly a problem. Hardware acceleration, blah, blah, blah. UX touches. Action-driven motion. Wait, but then how does it translate y negative 10? When the mouse hovers over the element, it shifts up by 10 pixels, which is here. When the mouse moves away, the element shifts down by 10 pixels. Interesting. Another common example is modals. It can be useful for modals to enter with an ease out. Oh, that's pretty cool. We animate based on what the user's doing, thinking in terms of events, not states. Animation should be thought of in terms of events, not states. When a user hovers over an element. Probably can work out with this happening. Drop down only stays open while it's being hovered. Oh, you can add a delay when it's disappearing. I see. Transition delay allows us to keep things status quo. Oh, this one's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah, I appreciate that, Williams. It is cool. I agree. Yeah, okay, I see. Transition delay allows us to keep that. When an element is moved up or down on hover. Separate the trigger from the event. Button has a new child. This span houses all the cosmetic styles. I see. Ah. Wait, can this just be uncommented? Ah, okay. Like this. Interesting. Respecting motion preferences. Something like this. I feel like this is a good example. I don't like this default color scheme for the embed code. That's the other thing you can do with, like another tip for Obsidian is you can embed code directly within the notes by doing this, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat, if I do say so myself. So, yeah, keep that in mind if you're writing CSS or notes on any code. You'd include any language here. Like I could do Python, and I could do print hello world, and then this is just Python, right? Like def foo print or stuff like that, right? So CSS transitions are fundamental, but that doesn't mean they're easy. Cool. Ah, that's actually a good tip. So whenever the element in the lower stacking context is repainted, the browser has to repaint the elements in the higher stacking context as well. So this could easily cause performance problems, especially in a case like this, where you just have like a shit ton of stacking contexts. Is this 3D view thing only in Edge? Or 3D view Edge DevTools? See, does Chrome have it? Layers panel. Oh, but this is the layers thing. I see. So it's not quite the same. Okay, so let's try this then. Inspect document layers. Okay, so let's try this. Is there layers here? Stacking contexts. Oh yeah, this is our plugin. I see. No, workspace, appearance, console. Oh, show layers, elements, Command Shift P, show layers. There we go. Oh, interesting. Whoa. So I can see the view right here. God, this is like nauseating. Can I like... Okay, so I can use like the... How would you ever use this like, this is like a mess. Okay, and then you can like move it around with this. Yeah, so this is like our page here. Interesting. Interesting. Well, that's wonderful. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not 100% sure how this could be useful. But, you know, it's there, I guess. Could either remove the position relative or add a position relative and a Z index to the span element. Ah, I see. Sure enough, the 3D view also confirmed the span was moved to the topmost stack. The elements in their stacking order. Interesting. Alright, are all CSS properties animatable? I don't think so. What are the long and shorthand notations for the transitions? I've got them written. What's the stacking context? It's like cool plugins you can get for CSS animations to make them easier. Nice. Stacking context is like a grouping of, yeah, stacking or layering of HTML elements. Repaints can cause performance issues. Good. Let's check out this. Oh, it's like an npm package. Interesting. So it's just like built-in animations then. So you don't have to like code them all yourself. That's pretty neat. Alright, cool. Let's mark complete. And then we have keyframes. So I'll do that. I think I'll do one more Pomodoro session for completeness. So just gonna have a quick snack. I'm not sure I can finish this in the rest of today's lesson, but I can try. hope everyone in chat's having a good weekend so far. Actually, Carol, I might pin that animate thing. Just so I have it. Why are so many people starting the world of programming with web development? Well, this isn't my first foray into programming, Jabes. I don't know if that's how you say your name. But you can read my FAQ for a reason. I answer that question there. It's a slow weekend and you're thankful? Yeah, that's fair. Not gonna lie, my life, at least so far, my life recently is pretty uninteresting as it is. Well, I mean, other than streaming and work, it's pretty boring and slow. So I'm used to slow weekends. But that's probably going to change soon. Because in the next few months I'm going to be moving, which is going to be exciting. So, yeah. Moving to a new city. Maybe get a new job eventually. I don't know. We'll see. You need no twists or turns at the moment? Fair. That's totally fair. I think, yeah, everyone's situation's different, right? But yeah. Thank you. We haven't found a place yet, but we're going to start looking very shortly. We just have to wait a few more weeks for the semester to finish up, and then yeah, for the school semester to be over, and then we're gonna start looking. So yeah, will be fun. I've you know, been waiting for this for a while, so it's kind of nice. Exactly, Jay. I've moved a few times in the last couple of years, so I get it. But you know, because especially with the way the housing market is, I'm definitely not going to be able to, or we are definitely not going to be able to afford, you know, buying anything anytime soon. So it's just going to be playing the rental market, which is fine. You know, it's could be worse. Let's see, keyframes. Moved last year, not moving until you decide on grad school. Yeah, that's fair. I moved last year as well, and the year before that. Moving it's stress, but it's nice. It's also nice to just like have like a change of like scenery. Like you can kind of get stuck. Like, at least that's how I felt in my old apartment. I felt like I was kind of stuck. So moving kind of helped me. You know, shake it up a little bit. Let's see, animations let you animate everything from one style configuration to another. Animations greatly expand on the capabilities transitions. You can read my FAQ here. I answer all those questions. Natural light helps? Yeah, definitely. Like I've got, you can't really see it, but I've got a big window right beyond my, like to my left over here. A lot of natural light comes in, and it's like southwest facing, so it's really nice. But yeah. It also depends where you live too. Like if you live, like I'm not a city person, so like I'd rather live like in the suburbs or something, or like in a rural area. I don't like the city very much. I kind of lived in the city last year and I didn't like it. Like because I needed to be close to the campus. Do I do freelancing? Not yet, but I'd like to. At some point, maybe. If you wanna, like, there's one client. What do you mean? Like, you have a client? I also wouldn't trust myself to do freelancing this early on. I don't know if I'm good enough for it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still learning. Maybe in a few months. Maybe in a few months. Have I developed any websites? Yeah, you can check out my GitHub here. I haven't developed any websites, but I've made some little web apps and stuff. I'm currently following the Odin Project, which is a free and open source web development curriculum to learn. And I'm documenting my learning journey in public to hold myself accountable and to also maybe inspire others. Odin should sponsor me? Nah, it's free and open source. They don't have money. It's all contributor backed, right? I think maybe you can donate to them or something, but I don't think they have money to sponsor people. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know. Both animations and transitions. Animation iteration count. So we'll say animation properties. We kind of already learned these in our other example, so that was good practice. Like earlier in the stream, we were doing the spinning squares. We kind of covered animations and keyframes, but it's a pretty like self-explanatory thing, I think. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the good luck. Animation iteration count. How many times animation repeats? To loop forever. Decides whether to alternate direction on cycle completion or reset to the start point. So alternate, or what's the default? Animation direction. Normal, reverse, and what's the other one? Alternate, reverse. There we go. That makes sense. Maybe I need to make this the American spelling. Yeah, I do. Okay. At certain points during the animation. Defines one animation cycle. Duration, name, and duration count and the direction, right? There's our shorthand notation. Here we add another keyframe for when the animation duration is at 50%. This means as well as the background color changing, we have specified that the ball doubles in size. Keyframes, okay. Gives you a glimpse into the power of keyframe syntax when it comes to controlling the animation of an element's properties. You can add keyframes to whenever you want, control whatever CSS animatable properties. Okay, we already checked this out, I think. Specifies how an animation applies. Okay. Something like this. This is important to know, but this is like an edge case, I feel like. So if you define like 3 animations and then only 2 durations, then the durations will apply, like they'll loop back to the start and apply sequentially. It's not a VS Code extension, Malachi. It's an app called Obsidian. It's a markdown note-taking app. The layout looks kind of like VS. Yeah, it does. It does, yeah. Definitely. I concur. Oh, nice, Malachi. Yeah, it's nice because then the markdown renders within the note taking, right? So I don't have sync set up because the sync for Obsidian like costs money, which I don't really want to pay for. But yeah, I would recommend using it. It's good. I used it for a little bit during when I was a student, and I found it nice. But I never really delved into it in a lot of detail. Like you can use like backlinks and stuff. Like I don't like you could do a backlink like this, I think. Like I can do this. And then I think I can link back to this, I think, somehow. Or do I do it like this? Hold on. No. Transitions. How do I do this again? I think, is it double bracket? There it is. And I think I can give it an alias like transitions. Yeah. So then if I click on this, or maybe it doesn't work. What the heck? Yeah. Then you can like link to other notes, right? So that would be like how to use it properly. I don't know. But I use it, yeah. There's no like right or wrong way to use the note-taking app. You just kind of use it for however it suits your workflow, right? Like there's no right or wrong way. This example of style for the P element specifies the animation. Oh, interesting. Let's put animation event listeners. Animation event listeners or events JS represented by the animation event type. Includes animation start, animation end, animation iteration. Oh, I see. Okay. The events get delivered to the listener function. Interesting. So if we repeat, yeah, 3 times. Animation, display, and content visibility. This behavior is useful for creating entry-exit animations. Right, I think we went through this. When animating display from none to block, the value will flip to block at 0%. Yeah, that makes sense. Nice. Again, I'm kind of going through these articles, kind of like not super detailed, but just enough that I feel like I'm getting the gist of what it's saying. I don't want to. I'm not gonna sit here and kind of like dissect everything like super, you know, strictly or anything like that. So, all right, that's the end of our Pomodoro. Let's see how long this is. Okay, I think I can do this little article, and then I'm gonna head out for today, because I've been at it for 3 hours just about. So, and then we'll do this this guy tomorrow, and the tomorrow or Monday, and then we'll do the exercises, and then that'll complete the animation section. And then this accessibility is probably going to take a while. That's okay. All in good fun. Okay, so let's do this keyframes. We already know this. Custom identity percentage. Okay, we already got this. Keyframe rule doesn't specify the start or end. Multiple keyframes set exists for a given name. The last one encountered by the parser is used. Properties that can't be interpolated are dropped from the animation. Keyframe is defined multiple times. The values top 10 and left 20 pictures. Yeah, that's fair. Formal syntax. Perfect. Scroll driven. I don't need to go through all this. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right. So tomorrow, or Monday, I haven't decided, I'll finish off this keyframes lesson, and then we'll jump into some web accessibility stuff, which is going to be super fun. Not, but it's important. You know, because I want to show my entire process. And yeah, and then I'll go into responsive design and then do this homepage project, which will be a lot of good front end stuff to dig into. And yeah, so if you want to follow along on my journey, feel free to subscribe. I go live at least 5 days a week. Join the Discord if you want to hear about updates on the live stream, or you want to share your project or discuss other web development related or just development in general related topics, like software development. And yeah, so that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow or Monday. Watch the Discord for updates.